Sup everyone, it's Kai from WCC, in case you guys forgot. Today, we got the new Nubatama and Genesis Stride for Premium Collection. And yeah, they seem pretty cool. We'll start with the Nubatama one first. The wiki has been really quick today. So, Rikudo Demonic Dragon Jakumeso is the name of the card. Looks pretty cool. It's like a non-Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon without the tech or the Chimera, but just got a big dragon face. The effect is that when it attacks, you may pay the cost, which is retire 2 grade zeros and turn a card from your G-Zone face up, draw 2 cards, return all your rearguards to your hand, and call up to 2 cards from your hand to the rearguard circle. If you call 2, this unit gets plus 10k and a critical until the end of turn. So, okay, I thought Nubatama would make your opponent discard cards, because that's what Nubatama is all about. You know, discard your opponent, destroy them when they have no cards, blah blah blah. But this one seems like total opposite. You draw 2 cards, and then you return your whole field, so you play very conservatively. And if you want to be more aggressive, you can call 2, and then it also gets 10k and a crit to put on the pressure. But let's think standard a bit. You know, gotta go back in time to when Nubatama had all those cool standard cards. Let's say Jamio Combo. How does this work with this card? So you discard your opponent down to 6 or 4, and then you draw 2 cards and you push your opponent. So that seems okay. You play Jamio in premium, so that can work. What about Hanzo? Okay, Hanzo. Oh, okay. You make tokens. Okay, you bounce field. Acto. So this doesn't really work. Okay, all right. That seems not that great. What about Magatsu Storm, right? Magatsu Storm, it's okay. It doesn't really benefit much. Doesn't have a lot of effects except defensive effects. That's kind of okay. Has that other effect which lets you call stuff and attack, but you know, you normally not play that in premium because it's like you have to attack with it. So in the end, you just draw 2 cards, and yeah, that's about it. So what does this card kind of fit in for Nubatama? So hey, Nubatama, for some reason, if you get damage denied, because sometimes happens, you don't really have much to do. You know, you could Makuro your opponent, but then things like if you really wanted to run Rene and you don't want to run Jamio, then no CB there. Otherwise, sometimes you want to go Jamio Drachma, it doesn't really work. Mujin Lord needs CB. This kind of fits in the situation where you don't have CB, or you don't want to use CB, because technically its effect is free. It attacks, you retire 2 of your grade zeros, and then you bounce your field. So what that also does is it sets up your whole field to be empty. So you don't have to actually call 2. And then if you don't call 2, you don't get a crit. So you don't get the tank and a crit. You can kind of give less damage to your opponent, which is a big thing in premium. You don't want to give your opponent too much damage, or they'll just wombo combo and destroy you. You can even just call 1 in the back and then put all your triggers on that just to deal that 1 damage. Just that 1 damage. And then you have no front row, your opponent cannot damage deny you next turn, so they're kind of forced to at least give you 1 damage. So that can be the play. Otherwise, you just bounce your whole field, play very conservatively, and yeah, that can be the thing. Otherwise, if you do want to go a bit more aggressive, you can just call 2 cards and get some crits. And that's kind of like that. You want the rest of your discard power kind of comes from your Jamio, your on-ride Vanguard effect, or your Kokshigarasu. Those will be where your discards are from, but this is more like fits into that niche where you want to just you don't have CB, and you don't want to really commit you don't want to commit janky cards to the field. You just want to play safely this turn. This is where it comes. Do your 2. You don't even have to call 2 cards. If you've called the field as well, you can do just 2 attacks. You can attack like 2 regards, and then you can bounce your whole field and then just keep it safe in your hand. Also, just so you know, it's like when it attacks, so it's not forcing you to attack the Vanguard, you can also attack a Riga and also play a more damage denied game. And then just deplete your opponent's resources, so the next few turns that you follow it up with, your opponent's resources are very depleted. So your hand discards and all that become much more effective. But let's go super big brain here, right? Okay, so what does this card do? Jakumeso, right? In the mirror, right? Mujin Lord, Dagaku, oh my god! When it attacks, you can retire 2 cards and draw 2. If your opponent played this card the turn before, you get to plus as well. Big brain. Okay, so that's basically it. Mujin Lord Dakaku from like old set got buffed. Easy. Now, let's move on to the next card. And this is the one that a lot of people have been hyping up a lot, because they're like, wow, Genesis, you know, Astral Plane, Valkyrian smashing him in the fist, Ochi K, you know, Wiseman, is that card back, you know, kind of thing. What does the new Genesis Stride do? Let's look at it. Let's take a look. Hero Deity of Zenith, Marduk. Okay, so pretty interesting effect. G-Zone auto. When your Vanguard attacks, if your Vanguard is grade 3, you may Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 6. Stride this card on your Vanguard circle from face down as rest. It gets the power and critical that one of your heart cards has gotten from trigger effects this turn, and change the attacking unit for this battle to be this unit. So this is like a superior stride in the battle phase that does not let you get another attack. So kind of fair in that way, but hang on. Let's think about this a bit more. Standard, all right? Oh yeah. This card lets you gotta think standard, right? This card lets you open up the astral plane with Uranus. Just a heads up, when you want to open up that astral plane, you have to use the new Uranus rather than the old ones, because the old ones are conts. Asteros Dragon is a cont, but on the new one, it's like an act that kind of stays on the field, so you can do that and then go into your big superior stride combos. And then you can do your Valkyrian attacks, you know, and remember, all your Valkyrian attacks, they all go to soul, so you are generating a lot of soul just from that, and then when this card attacks, you get kind of like a stride, and you get a stride, and at least you get a triple drive, kind of for free. You don't have to discard for it, so it's just a Counterblast 1. The Soul Blast 6 kind of just comes naturally, so that's fine. And then you can probably get 2 Valkyrian attacks as well, because you can just rest your Astral Poets to get 2 big Valkyrian attacks, and then go into this as a superior strike. So another thing that kind of works with this card is Himiko, because Himiko does just get more trigger effects as well. And then since that's an act, usually it wouldn't work before, but now it does because this is a superior stride. So yeah, that kind of works. The other thing that maybe you haven't really thought of is your old Taru. So Taru is a GB1, so you have to make sure that you already have something face up on the G-Zone. But this can actually trigger your Tarus. It can also trigger your apples and oranges to soul charge more to get into your stack. And then after maybe you soul charge enough, because Soul Blast 6 is pretty good. If you have a lot of soul, you can kind of do that and just soul blast, soul charge the rest of your deck, and maybe you can just, you know, set up some Taro attacks from there. So you have that option too. Maybe we're looking at a more hybrid version of this Genesis deck. You know, not just like a Wiseman OTK or a Wiseman aggression deck, but more of a kind of you know, a mix between Valkyrian and then going into the other cards, the other combos later on. So there's a lot of possibilities here. We have to find what the one and only Muhammad can think of. Come on, Muhammad, let me know in some comments below or DMs about your crazy ideas, because he's like he's the only one crazy enough to take Genesis to Worlds last year, and man, his deck was pretty good. I had to play against that quite a few times during our rest periods. So yeah, that was really annoying to play against. Really OTK-ish, but really strong. So there's definitely a lot that you can probably build with this Genesis stride compared to the Nubatama one. So get your brains into gear, think of some crazy decks, think of some crazy hybrid decks even, and see where it takes you. So that's just it from me. Quick look and discussion onto these 2 cards, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!